do I need to retire?
How much do you need to retire? If it was that easy.
It should be that
I
easy.
wish it were that easy.
Me
but
too.
Unfortunately, it's not.
It's not?
It's just not.
All right,
I wish I could just give you a magic number and say, here you go, this is how much you need.
I thought there was a magic number.
That would be the way to go. Well, hi, and welcome to Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth, featuring this guy, Jeff Jr. I'm Rusty Humphries, and we're just talking about that a little bit off the air, and that was, how much do you need to retire? And that's kind of a number that everybody's, I guess they have in their back of their mind. I wonder what that number is.
Right.
Is that an easy thing to figure out?
I wish it was an easy thing. It would make my job a heck of a lot easier, but unfortunately it's not. It really has a lot to do with what kind of lifestyle you want to live.
I want to live large.
Are you a big spender? Are you a small spender? Are you on a big budget?
Here's
a
the
tight
thing.
budget?
And let's see how this works for you. I'm a big spender and a terrible saver. So
my mom used to give that a name. She called that champagne taste on a beer budget.
That's me. Woo! So basically, I should be picking out my single wide trailer at this point.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
So, is there a time when most people retire? Is it 65, or is it, how do you figure that?
It really varies. A lot of people kind of put an age to it, and they say 62 or 63 or 64, maybe even 65, depending on when they can start taking their Social Security.
Yeah.
62 is the youngest age that you can start taking Social Security, but at age 64-ish, 65 during fly, then you get full retirement, and then you don't have to worry as much about your income being taxed at such a high rate.
Okay.
So it's different for everybody.
So the good news is I got Social Security, I got no savings, I should be okay.
There's that fly. He wants to get you.
The fly wants to learn how to build its wealth too.
Hairspray?
I don't have hairspray.
Oh, you don't have
I have
hairspray?
a little gel, though.
Right,
By the way, I got a little shadow going, trying to look like Jeff today. Trying to get it going. See here? This is 55 years grown.
That looks pretty good.
Right here, it's coming in.
So what was the question?
The question was, how do I know when I'm retired? I mean,
how do you know when you're retired?
When to retire? Is there a money number? Is it? I mean, we're just talking about age, and I also mentioned Social Security. If I just have Social Security, are you
going to be okay?
Yeah.
Well, it again depends on your lifestyle. There's a lot of people who just live on Social Security, and there's nothing wrong with that. If it supports your lifestyle, and it allows you to do the things that you want to do, by all means, do it. But as far as what age you want to retire, there's a few different ways we can look at it. We can look at it, and you can either come in.
Keep going. There you go. It's all right. This is fun.
So we're going to get them. But you can either come in and say, "Hey Jeff, I want to retire at age 65. What can we do? What can we do about that?" And we can back into it. Or you can even come in and say, "Hey Jeff, I've got X amount of dollars, and this is the kind of lifestyle that I want." And we can back into that and give you an idea as to when you can retire.
Okay, so a lot of it, to do it smart, you really need to sit down with somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody from Trajan Wealth, for example.
For sure.
Because it's not just, okay, I'm 65 now, I'm done.
Right.
That would be not smart.
Growing up, it was always nice to hear, "I'm a millionaire," or "that guy's a millionaire."
Yeah.
It always sounds like a lot of money, right? But many years ago, $1 million went a lot further than it does today. And that's going to be true 20 years from now. So maybe being a millionaire isn't going to quite cut it. But again, it all comes back to the kind of lifestyle that you want to lead. If you don't do much, if you don't travel, if you are fine with just hanging out around the home, maybe your income need doesn't have to be as much. And it also depends on debt too. Is the house paid off? Are you renting? Do you have a mortgage? Are you mortgaged up? There's a lot of variables.
I'm more of a thousandaire.
A thousandaire.
Yeah.
Good for you. And that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's a lot wrong with that.
You have a smile on your face, and that means a lot. So.
That's right. Okay, how about 401ks? Now, a lot of folks have the 401ks. They're thinking about. Yeah, there's this fly. Actually, yeah. He's just hitting me for fun.
You just leave him on your face.
There you go. He's smacking me for fun. There's no fly, really. He's just having fun with the paper. So 401k, should I leave the 401k in the old company, or should I roll over? What do you do with the 401k?
I generally would never recommend leaving that old 401k with your old employer.
Why?
For a few reasons. I think the biggest reason is the limited investment options that they provide. When companies establish 401k plans, they usually provide 10, 15, maybe 20 different investment options.
Okay.
And oftentimes those investment options are chosen by the organization. Why were they chosen by the organization? It could be because maybe they were in the organization's best interest You could smack my face now. Maybe those options were in the organization's best interest and not so much the participants.
Right.
Also, a lot of companies, they offset the fees for employees in the 401k, but as soon as you're not an employee of the organization anymore, your internal fees may increase.
So even if I retired from a company, they don't consider me an employee, they don't consider me part of the family.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
You're gone, get out.
You're gone, get out.
And probably should take your money with you.
That's right. And so what we can do is simply a rollover. So a rollover is where you reallocate that 401k money and you're going to roll it over into an IRA. The benefit of that is it really opens up the investment universe of the options that you have to invest into, but then also you don't have to worry about tax consequences either.
Okay. What are the top factors? Someone's thinking about retiring, they want to do it fairly soon. Are there factors that you go, okay, you need to know this, and this before you retire?
Well, sure. I mean, it kind of comes back to how much money do I need. I think that's a very important factor, determining can you actually retire, and that's going to be a combination of how much income are you getting in Social Security, how much money do you have in that 401k, what kind of inflation figures do we need to account for, what kind of travel do we need to account for, lifestyle. So there's quite a bit that needs to be figured.
Man, you're making my mind spin.
Yeah,
It's like, well, no, I mean, it's like you think I did, that I could do it myself. And then in talking to you, it's like, man, I forgot about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some people I'd say can do it themselves. There are people who are just numbers people. They just like looking at that stuff. I'd consider myself in that group. But the way I look at it too is you should always consult a professional. If I have a broken arm, I'm not going to mend it and put sticks on my arm and fix it myself. I'm going to go to a doctor.
Right.
Even though the sticks might be sufficient, do I really want to?
Right.
So I'd always say consult a professional. Even if you like doing it yourself, simply get a second opinion. What does it hurt? What does it hurt to either have your theory supported or refuted?
So if we, for example, I'd suggest you talk to somebody at Trajan Wealth. It doesn't cost anything to come in the first time, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we make our appointment process very simple. It's very easy. It's not salesy. I say to all of the people who work with us, and you've heard me advertise before, that our advisors have hearts of teachers. We really do. I mean, we take a look at it as though we're an educator. We're providing you options and solutions, and if you choose to come with us, fantastic. We'd love to have you on the team. If not, it's just one of those things. If nothing else, we hope that you at least walked out with some good information.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure you've heard Jeff Jr. on the radio, and we sure appreciate you listening to the podcast or watching the podcast. Would you do us a favor? That is subscribe, because we have so much information coming up. I mean, we've got, for example, a show coming up soon. Jeff doesn't like banks. Why? This guy, you worked in a bank. I don't know why he doesn't like banks. We're going to find out about that and ways to avoid running out of money and retirement nightmares. And we've got shows coming up each and every week. So you want to make sure that you subscribe to Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth featuring Jeff Jr. You want to subscribe. Also hit that notification, that little bell, and that lets you know every time a new show is released. So make sure you subscribe, tell your friends. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, make sure you subscribe there and share that as well. We sure appreciate you. He's Jeff Jr. I'm Rusty Humphries, and thanks for watching Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth.
Investment advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor.